Hi, everyone. Welcome to If My Mama Knew podcast. For those of you returning, welcome back. For those of you that are new, don't forget to check out our other episodes. I'm Minnie. Here's Gigi.
Hi.
Here's Cece.
Hey.
And here's Cookie.
Hey.
And today's topic is Amor de Lejos, Amor de Pendejo, which roughly translates to long distance relationship is for idiots. Now, this is a very interesting topic because we currently have a person very close to us that has this certain affinity for only finding significant others from a different country. No matter what we tell them, they always find a person in another country and they don't feel like getting a person here or around them. So, girls, what do you think about our special friend?
So, in terms of our special friend, right? First of all, we've all talked to her. We've all told her, listen, let me explain to you a little bit how our special friend works. Our special friend travels to her family's country. She grew up there. She travels, it's Nicaragua. She travels to Nicaragua, right? Let's say she arrives on Monday. Monday she arrives. Tuesday she meets someone. Wednesday she's kissing them. Thursday they're in a relationship. Friday they're fucking. Saturday they're engaged. And Sunday she comes back. So that's pretty much her whole relationship in 7 days. And so when you're with someone that's like so far away from you and like you have to go back to your country, they stay over there, like how do you really know that they're being faithful? How do you know that they're saying that this is a real relationship? How do you know that it's not just for like papers? Like, how do you know all these things? And I honestly think like for you to have a relationship based on 1 week or 2 times or 3 times that you guys have seen each other, that to me is like ridiculous. Like it makes no sense. Like you cannot know someone after being with them 3 times, right? That's what I think. But in her mentality, that's long enough for them to have known each other their whole life. She's always engaged, and to me, it's just ridiculous. But what do you girls think?
Honestly, in that situation, I will have to say literally, that's really hard to say because when I go to Nicaragua and I'm over there with my family, I have people who try to be in a relationship with me when I know I'm like, I'm not gonna be here long. This is just a game. If I'm going to be sticking here for life, I will not do. I'm so used to hot showers, not cold water. I don't know how you guys do it, but I can't. I die. I'm like a pure gringa in every way possible. I'm so used to over here. So I had moments where like, that just remind me of when I was in Nicaragua and I had this person literally, I thought he was cute and I was willing to date him and everything. And I was dating him. And his family is like, oh, he wants to be a singer. I hope you take him. He will love America. And I'm like, excuse you? I'm a child. I'm not getting married. Like, who do you think I am? I'm not here to like own somebody and have them like be there eating mierda shit. Just letting you guys know. I'm not that type of person. But I don't know. I can't do that. But I can't say anything because there's moments where like, even here, we are in a relationship that somebody doesn't have papers and we're like, do you want me for my papers or are you here for a relationship? And that's a lot of questions you need to ask. I don't know. What's your thought? Yeah, Gigi?
Bro, like honestly, I don't know what people think that when we get off the plane, like I'm from Honduras, so when we get off the plane off Honduras, I don't know if people think we're made of money and like they see like dollar signs every time they see us. Like people start flirting with you like crazy, like mamacita, how are you? Like I remember I used to go between where my dad lives and where my mom's family's from. And like I would leave a boyfriend in each little pueblito, right? So I had like one here, one there. And then when it was time to go to my mom's, I had one there. And then I would have the one from my dad's calling me. And I was like, no, dude, you were only interesting for that week that I was there, or 2 weeks, and that's it. Thank you for coming. Have a great day. Next. But like, I don't know if people think we're made out of money, or I don't know, bro. Like, I want to give you a reality check. So all these people that live in these countries and think that us from the US have money. Nigga, I eat maruchan for breakfast many times. For those of you that don't know what maruchan is, that's cup noodles. I ain't rich. I ain't gonna go over there and be your sugar mama or whatever you think you are. No, and we ain't gonna get married after getting to know each other 1 week. But like at the end of the day, like I don't know if that's the people think like, oh, if I si la gatuseo, if I tell her sweet things, she's gonna take me back and marry me. Like, no, I can't do that. I think it's stupid. Yeah, Cece.
But my question is, like, for example, like the same thing I've asked myself, like from our friends, is how do you know if you actually like the person too? Because you only spend a week, let's say. That's even too much. Sometimes you even see the person less than that. But how do you know that that relationship is gonna last in the long run? Like you get me texts, calls, everything is perfect because you're far away. But once you're with the person, the dynamic with each other is different, especially if you only seen them once. The first time that you went, it was like, okay, we're in a fuller relationship. I come back to the States. They don't see each other for what, a year, 2 years, maybe. And then she flies back again, and it's another week, and then back. And it's like, how can you tell you actually like the person? Even here, like you said, with our a relationship here, sometimes you're like debating if you actually like the person, even if you spend most of the time just for the personality or the, like, you know, the back and forth that you guys go like on a daily basis. I just can't get my head through that. But like Gigi said, once you go to a different country, it's like that. Because I had a coworker, that's the first thing that he used to do: get money, like save grants, like maybe 5-10 grants, and go back to Nicaragua every summer or every other month. He'll save up as much as he can, and he'll go over there and ligarse las chiquititas. Like only 6, he'll be like, come back, oh, I was with a 16-year-old. She said I was with money. I had money. I was driving cars. I was driving motorcycles. I was doing this and that. So they like se me tiran. So I was like, bro, they're underage. They're like 24. He's like, yeah, but that's legal over there. And their mamas, they don't mind because they think I have money and they know I go with money over there every time over there. So they approve it. So I'm like, in what world? It's like, like Gigi said, they expect them to get out and come back here, and they're gonna come to the States like in your piggyback. But it's not like that. What's up, Mini?
So I like basically everything that you said, and I concur. And for me, it was a big cultural shock going to Nicaragua for the first time when I was 20. I know you girls have either been primarily raised or have spent a lot of time in Nicaragua or Honduras. But the first time I can remember, I was 20 and I went to go see my mom. And the cultural shock was just astounding to me. Like Cookie said, I was dying with no hot water. Like we had to fill up un balde, which is a big barrel. And we had to fill it up every morning around 4 o'clock in the morning because you only have water for about an hour. And that's in Managua, which is the capital. So if you didn't wake up early to catch the water, that's it. You didn't have water for the rest of the day. But anyways, yes, it's a very different world. Girls are expected to get married, have kids at a young age. Again, I was 20 when I went to go visit, and there was this 15-year-old with a 1-year-old son. And she's looking at me like I'm gone crazy because I told her I'm not ready for a child when that's the normal age to have a child over there. I'm like, no, I am a child. I have things to do. I have plans. But yes, I don't understand how this friend of ours deliberately, I would say deliberately, goes to her country just to find a significant other when knowing she only spends, what, 3 weeks out of the year there? Like, is that enough time? Honestly, no. And it's like what you said. Texting and calling is one thing, and being with the person physically is a completely different thing. Especially since I know Well, I don't know if you girls remember the one time we heard a voicemail from him that was just horrible. And I was like, why would you let yourself be treated like that? Like, how do you let yourself be treated like that from a person that's not even here? So I don't know. Those are just my thoughts on it.
Like going back to it, right? Like I don't know. I think that's the only time like I really think personally I was in some type of long distance relationship is when I would like go around to Honduras. But at that time I wasn't really trying to be faithful or anything because I had my boyfriend here in the US, so I would leave a boyfriend like pretty much in the little like towns and stuff. But like I don't know, like there's people who make long distance relationships work. But for me personally, like you have to have either a lot of trust or communication, or I don't know, because I feel like, for example, either talking about our friend or talking about anything behind, like if you're texting all day, that doesn't mean anything. You don't know who they're with. Unless you're FaceTiming and you get to see every single little thing, but not even that, because they could just hide the person or anything like that. So like, I don't know, like what if you were in a long distance relationship that you actually wanted to be in, that you felt like the trust, the communication, whatever was there, like how would you prepare yourself for that? Like how much, I don't even know how to say it, how much would you need to trust that person to actually fully commit to a long distance relationship? Would you girls ever be in a long distance relationship? Yeah, Cookie?
That's actually a good question. My question is for pretty much with that is how far are you willing to like the distance? Because I'm not gonna lie, my boyfriend moved to Texas before me. And I was like, we're not gonna see each other for like 2 months, right? And I don't believe in long distance. And he's like, we can try FaceTiming, texting, calling. And you guys know I don't trust. I don't trust no man. I trust nobody out here. There's too many sharks. But to the point where like I'm like, look, I'm gonna give it a try because you haven't shown anything that shows that I can't trust you. So I did it for 2 months. We FaceTime, call, text, all of that for 2 months. And honestly, this man, there's moments where I'm like, yo, I need to hang up. You're on the phone with me for too long. Those are positive signs that you're in a good relationship. But then either there's certain situation where like Mini said, about that voicemail. I'm like, yo, you don't talk to me like that. Who do you think you are? Like, you out over there, I'm over here. I can do whatever I want over here. And you will never know. Try me. But that's my attitude. Our friend is different. Our friend is doesn't have that aggressive attitude like we do. So it's a whole different thing. In that situation. What's your opinion, guys?
I think you and your boyfriend already had a stable relationship. So it's a bit different because you already had that connection. You already had that open communication. It's not like you didn't know each other. You already have that. But we're talking about a friend who doesn't know this person or doesn't know the people she gets in a relationship with at all. So I think those are two different things. But yeah, if you have that communication and you have that level of trust, it could work depending on how long it's going to be, whether you guys spent 2 months, but that is something you guys had communicated with. Hey, it's going to be a short time thing. We have no idea. I mean, it all depends. What do you girls think?
I think it's like how you guys said it. If it's built like already solid, you guys, spend your time together for a short period of time, I don't see why not. Like, depending on work or just moving to a different state like you guys did. I don't see why it shouldn't be working. But like now you're telling me you're gonna go to a different country, not state, and you guys are gonna be apart. You get me? I know family will help you and probably want the best for you, but not everybody's gonna be up on the guy, you know, even if the family knows them and be like, hey, your boyfriend was cheating on you, or your boyfriend is, or your girlfriend is over there with another girl, because it's vice versa. Sometimes the guys go over there and try to meet girls. You get me? But I think it's more on the countryside I mean, I wouldn't. Like, if it's like that, going to a different country, it's completely different for me. Because, like, you said, Cookie, sometimes you don't know if it's for the papers that they trying to get married. And I seen that happen. I seen like a family friend. She went. I mean, we known each other since little. Everybody, you get me. She is a U.S. citizen here. She travels over there because she has family over there, and like it's well known. And she went. Supposedly, she fell in love with the guy. In less than 2 months, they're already married. She actually supposedly fell for the guy. The guy was madly in love with her, just to find out that the guy was only marrying her for papers. So then she already had put the petition and everything to bring him here, until she actually found out and heard it from his own voice. Yeah, I married you because of papers. And then she had to actually annul the marriage and cancel the paperwork and everything, and it was like fraud. So you get me? That's something I don't know if you guys thought about it, but that's something I've thought about a friend. We don't know if he's in it for the papers, just because it's the way she is, the way that she has gone most of the times, because this is not the first time that she's trying to bring someone here. It's like the second or third time. So if that goes around her community, because over there sometimes it's big, sometimes it's small, depending on the person, the pueblitos, you get me? So if he heard that she already had tried to bring someone else here, and he's giving her, the world, the stars, everything like she wants, and makes her fall for it. So why wouldn't it work?
I have a question for you guys, and be honest with me in this situation. If somebody was willing to pay you to get married with somebody, to give them paper, would you do it?
Girl, let me tell you, that shit's money though. I mean, no, I married my husband for love, but that shit's money though. Like, I remember I was in, where the fuck was I? And I was in the dinner with my mom. And this nigga told my mom straight up, listen, I'll pay your daughter and you 20 grand, and your daughter gets married to me tomorrow. And I'm over here like, I gotta pay the rent, I gotta pay the car, I gotta pay this, I gotta pay that. 20 grand, huh? I'm thinking about it, right? Like, I'm thinking about it. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? No, because my mom said, deja de comer mierda. I'm kind of like bitched him out. But in the back of my mind, I'm trying to go along with mom. And I'm like, no, babe, ¿cómo cree usted? Then I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I gotta pay rent, I gotta pay this, I gotta pay that. Huh, 20 grand, what is it so bad? Get a new car, do this. So I'm thinking about it. I'm like, honestly, I wouldn't, just because at the end of the day, it's gonna be harder for you. Like, if you do find the some person you love and you have that marriage just hanging in the balance, and if that person paid you to do it, then you have to wait until their paperwork goes through, and that can take years for that to happen. So, like, I honestly wouldn't do it. I'm already married to my husband. I did not marry him because he needed papers. I married him because I love him. But that can take years for that to go through. And then what if you find the Mr. Right or Mrs. Right and you can't get married because you're still waiting for this person to get their papers? So I personally wouldn't, but honestly, whoever does, you go, baller, you go. What you think, Minnie?
My answer is hell to the no. I've had offers and I've turned them all down. Like, the money is good. I'm not gonna lie. Money is good. But I'm here thinking, if I do this, I'm committing fraud. And if I get caught, that means my happy ass is going to jail. So my ass is like, nope, don't go down that route. Don't do it. Just stay out of trouble. Don't do anything stupid. Think of the consequences. So that's my answer.
This bitch talking about technicalities. I'm here talking about morality. Get the fuck out of here, Minnie, going to jail. Nobody talking about going to jail, girl. Like, all you gotta do is give a little besito to the guy and just pretend you like him. Look like a little, and take a little pictures, like selfies, like, come here, papi. Come here, papi. Picture cheese, little besito, and that's it. And this bitch here talking about fraud and going to jail. Damn, Minnie, way to kill a question. The fuck out of here.
I only think logically. Sorry.
I mean, but you gotta fake that good though, because it's not just, they're paying you and yeah, let's just take some simple pictures. Sometimes it's more than that. You get me? There's a lot of questions, because it's not just, oh yeah, you just gonna file the paperwork and that's it. Sometimes you gotta go to a psychologist. Sometimes you gotta go to interviews, and you gotta know the person left and right, like hasta lo que se ponen de desodorante or a perfume or whatever, something simple. And if you don't know it just because you're doing it because out of that, it's fucked up. You fucked. And they're gonna notice it's fake. So if people commit to that, I mean, touche to them, but it's something I wouldn't be able to do either at all.
But I'm not gonna lie, I have to give props to those people who do it. And they go through perfectly fine. They pass with green colors and everything. I'm like, yo, how do you do it? Like, don't you get nervous? Don't you get like sweaty and worried that you might go to jail? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm with Minnie in that part. I'm like, yo, I gotta think about it. This money sounds really good, but am I ready to go to jail just in case? Like, don't get me wrong, I know how to act and I know how to lie and I know how to sneak stuff. But in the end of the day, yo, going to jail? I don't know, man, because jail is different. Jail will make you different, honestly. I think that 100%. I don't know. But in that part, I will have to be like, it depends. I will have to debate. I will have to fight myself in that situation. Because I'm like, look, if you're cute, I can pretend that I like you. But if you ugly, I can't do it. Because I wouldn't want you to touch me. I wouldn't want you to like get near me. Yeah, Gigi?
Come on, Cookie. 100 grand, you wouldn't do it, girl? That's it. Nos salimos de la pobreza. We'll go rent that house. I just sent you in the middle of nowhere.
Nah, fuck that. Yo, I have to be attractive at least to be able to pretend. Because I can only imagine I'm not attracted to this man. And this man tries to touch me. I'm like, nigga, who you think you are?
Paper bag, bro. Paper bag. Paper bag. All right, let me ask you this. Let's say y'all in long distance relationship, right? Would you put ground rules in that relationship, and what would be one of the rules you put?
Are we talking out of the country or like in statewide?
Long distance, nigga. Long distance means long distance. That means I can't drive to your house and get a quick polvito if I want to. For those of you that don't know what polvito, it means getting dick if you want to, or pussy, or whatever your necessities are. So long distance to me is that you're not at a drivable distance for me to go get dick if I need it. That's what long distance means to me. Obviously, it could be another country, another state, 4 hours away, 10 hours away. If you need a quickie and you can't get it, that's long distance. Would you have any ground rules for a long distance relationship if you had to be in one?
In that situation, I'm going to be honest with you. I would be like, yo, you better call me 24/7. Be my stalker. No, you're not my stalker. I don't want you. That's it. I'm sorry. But it's the truth. Yo, we're doing this long distance. You better call me before I wake up to go to work and before I go to sleep. You better call me during my lunch, everything. Be my stalker. I prefer you being my stalker in that one moment because that's when I know you real. And you got nothing to hide. And you better FaceTime. Yo, it don't matter what country you at. Yo, there's WhatsApp everywhere, okay? There's Wi-Fi everywhere. You better not be acting like I'm not here. Acting like you don't got no woman over here. You better act straight. I'm sorry. This is how it works.
Cookie, would you be one of those girls that tells your nigga, hey, you FaceTime me right now? All right, I need you to go around the room so I can say hi to everyone that's with you. Why didn't you show that corner? Go to that corner. Would you be one of those who just be like, all right, we FaceTiming, like, you cagando, I need to see the toilet, nigga. Are you like one of those, or you just like, all right, hey, boo, how are you? Good to see your face. Because I don't know, maybe I'd be one of the ones that be like, all right, turn the camera around, make sure I can see that we alone. Because you know what? We can use a perfect excuse. We want to talk dirty right now, and I need to make sure you alone. Que mentira más grande. I need to make sure there ain't no bitches there with you while I'm over here pagando la renta for you, cabrón. Will you be one of those, Cookie?
Honestly, yeah. Because my boyfriend now, he literally will walk around the whole thing. He'll be like going to his brother's room. Like, don't get me wrong, he wouldn't. Like, I wouldn't tell him to show me, but he knew I had trust issues. And he's like, I need to make sure this woman believes in me, because if not, it's done. It's over. She's willing to stay in Miami, and she knows, and I know she can find another nigga. That's it. Like, I'm not going to be here sugarcoating nothing. You better I have trust issue, man. That's it. It's not healthy, but I got trust issues. You better figure it out. This is how this relationship is gonna work.
But I want to hear from Minnie from this, because I know Minnie's told us before that if a nigga texts her too much, that's it. If a nigga texts her too little, that's it. So in the long distance relationship, Minnie, how would the communication be effective for you?
Let's see, I was just debating how to answer that because I don't know. Like, would I put myself through a long distance relationship? Would I? I don't know because I wouldn't be the one saying, "Oh, show me the entire room," and I wouldn't be the one, like Cookie said, being like, "You better text me or call me 24/7." Like, I would be like, "You need to back the fuck up. Like, you need to stop," because that's too much. That's overkill. So I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Good to know. Good to know. Because like I said, like I know you, it's either too much or too little. It has to be in between. But when you long distance with someone, like now, we're here saying long distance relationships don't work, right? Right? For the most part, they don't. But what if it's someone in the army or one of those military branches, and your significant other went over? Like we all, most of us had a little dabble with that military man or military significant others. Most of us had that little dabble there. So maybe they're not married, but do you think a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship in that sense could work along? Because it is long distance when they get deployed, right? What y'all think?
That's actually a good question. Most of the time, the one who cheats is the one who stays behind. So honestly, it can work, but it depends on who you have by your side. Do you have someone who's loyal and who waited out? Did you have that communication? Did you have that foundation? Did you have that connection? Because honestly, if you don't have that connection, anyone could get bored. So it really depends on the person or the people.
I will have to agree with Minnie in that situation, because that also, it's really hard because it also depends on the timeline that you guys have together also. Because honestly, if you're gone for too long, I'm sorry to tell you, I'm a person who is sexually active and like to be sexual. So if I don't get it, I'll find it somewhere else. And I get bored really easily. That's it. Like, yo, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know how people survive with no, having any sexual activities, because that just shocks me. It shocked me for 2 months. You know how sober I was for 2 months? Sober. No action. No. I was sad and depressed.
You should have meaning that
the tunnel was closed, Cookie, and it was sad, right? There were cobwebs in there and everything, bro. Huh?
Yeah, like, yo, I'm not gonna lie. And this is when we went out to eat. Meaning you weren't here, but Cece was late and Gigi and we were talking and everything with everybody else. And I was like, yo, I waxed. I did this shit. This is for the goal. This is the goal, because I'm going over there. I need this man to like devour me, okay? Too long. I don't know how some people can hold it in for a year. I don't know how you guys can talk dirty on the phone. That doesn't work with me. I need it, and that's it. That's an issue for me. Yeah, Gigi?
Now that you say that, bro, like, I have, like, how do long distance relationships handle, like, our friend, for example, right? Like, she FaceTimes, WhatsApp times, whatever you call that shit, with a vibrator or a dill. I don't know what the hell she sticks in there. I think she's broken like 5 vibrators. And to them, that's pleasure. Like, would you guys feel comfortable if your significant other is miles away and you decide to FaceTime, sex time, whatever you want to call it, time each other with both of you with a vibrator, and I guess him masturbating? I don't know. Like, I personally, I'm like, no, I can't do that. Like, everything is on the internet. It takes 2 seconds for anything to get leaked. Like, before, it wasn't this high tech. Before, we had the little Nokia shits, and it was barely a little camera or whatever, the little flip phone. What was that shit called? The razors. Like there was no complicated ass technology to my phone. Back then when we used to send our little, our little wannabe nude pics or whatever, now it's like in 2 seconds you press the wrong button and that's it. Everyone's seeing your punani. So like how, let's say you're in a long distance relationship, would you be comfortable doing that with your partner? What do you think, Cece?
Hell no. Like you said, how I know, I mean, I'm with him, but 100%, how can I trust someone that's over there and he can trust me in that aspect, especially as a female, you're more vulnerable to get into more sticky situations. You get me? Because he's the guy, so he can just take a snap, like a screenshot, and then be like, "Oh, she's doing this," or like just throwing it around, como para presumir. So at the end of the day, who looks bad is the female. Let's be honest. The guys, they're praised for whatever they do, whenever they do it, however they do it. It doesn't really matter. But us females, they always look at us down, especially in the pueblitos. You get me? So if that gets around over there or even down here, it's a problem. So I wouldn't be able, that trust issue, it's still like, it kind of, even down here, you get me? It still gets to me, like how I'm gonna know if the person is just seeing it for himself and not saying it. That's something I wouldn't be able to do.
Like I'm curious to find out, like how does this generation send nudes now? Because I know they still are out there, right? Obviously, like some guy sends you a bunch of like cute messages or whatever, and I know it's still out there, but like with the fear of everything being exposed and how everything is now that you can get hacked in a second, like how about you, Minnie? What do you think about all that?
So I agree with Cece. Cece, I've always been an avid person of not sending nudes. I mean, I have received my fair share, but never have I been the one to send it out just because of that level of distrust. Like, yeah, you don't know what these people are doing with your pictures or your videos. And honestly, I don't know how people are able to share it. Like, we've seen so many cases, kids getting bullied because their photos have been leaked throughout the school. We've even seen celebrities have their careers crushed because of these leaks. So honestly, don't do it. That is my advice to anyone out there. Do not do it. I don't care what your level of friendship or your level of trust is with that person. Like Gigi said, anything could get hacked, or you press the wrong button and there goes all your privacy. So honestly, do not do it. Yeah, Cookie?
That's actually funny because this generation, I think they do everything by Snapchat now and Instagram, because now you can do that and it disappears. Because I have a lot of coworkers who are like way younger than me, and they're like, they do everything by Snapchat. And I'm here and I'm like, didn't we have Snapchat? Like, no, we didn't. Well, what was it that we used to use? Like, what, Bluetooth or something like that?
Text.
Yeah, text.
That's
I don't
it.
know. But I feel like they have it more on the safe side than we do, because before we used to, like, I don't mean like they don't have like they are in a dangerous situation where like people can still screenshot and all of that I understand. But what I'm saying is pretty much is the fact that with us, before we sent pictures, people were stuck because guess what? You save that picture, it was getting sent by everybody else. Everybody else was getting that text message. And that's an issue in that situation. This is why, like, even if you're in a long distance, don't take that chance. Don't take that chance, because in the end of the day, you don't know this person that well. That's one. And two, you don't know, maybe people can say sweet stuff and talk all the talk, but they don't do any action. And I'm more of an action person. If you're not doing any action, I can't trust you in that certain way. Yes, Cece?
I think you're right, but like you said, even with Snapchat, for example, if they do send it to someone and they screenshot it, it's gonna let the person know that it got screenshot, for example. But back then, with us, at least if you send a risky picture through text, you don't know if they saved it, if they screenshot it, if they resend it, if they showed it, because you just send it to the person as trust, like with your trusting instinct, and be like, oh, I just send it for that person to see. For example, you get me? But you know, back then a lot of the guys are not mature enough. They'll be like, the first thing they do is like, oh, you know, this person sent me a picture of her boobs or this or that. And I know that because even in my middle school, a lot of guys were bragging about girls that they were sending them nudes and things like that, and everybody's like, no, like we don't know, or is it true or not? And she like the, you know, the girl would deny it, but then the guy was like, oh no, he showed it to me, he has it, but no, it got sent to this person. So it's like, back then to get to the main source, it was a little bit more difficult just for sake. But now with, like you said, Snapchat or Instagram, I don't know Instagram, it tells you if they screenshot it, but I know Snapchat does. If you record something, it tells you. So in that aspect, the person can be a little bit more, I guess, safe, if you want to say it like that. But it's just, you know, give and take. What happened, Mimi?
Okay, so I honestly think the more we advance, the more dangerous it becomes, just because technology has advanced so much. And due to social media and the way the new generation or the younger generation is growing up, the only thing they know is social media. The only thing they know is how many likes do I have? How many followers do I get? And most of the time, you don't know the person behind the account. And so I think it's very dangerous now because you have no idea how many pedophiles have access to these accounts, or how they're able to groom children, how human trafficking and child trafficking is really big right now. And honestly, we as a generation have to we as a population have to step in and stop these actions, because children are getting groomed, adults are getting groomed, they're getting assaulted, they're getting trapped in these very dangerous situations. So I think now more than ever, it's very dangerous, and people are hiding behind a screen. And that's honestly my opinion.
All right, so let me ask this. What would you tell someone that is contemplating having a long distance relationship with someone they really like or even love? Not thinking of military or not thinking of that, just someone that for some reason they have to be long distance for a bit or maybe for a while. What would you guys tell them?
Don't do it. That is my advice. Don't do it. Break it off. And if you're meant to be, you'll circle back to each other. What's meant to be will always be meant to be. But honestly, don't put yourself in a situation where you're stressing yourself out, wondering what the other person is doing and holding yourself back. Just my opinion.
What if you're in a situation like Cookie, where she knows she's gonna go back to her man? It's a sense of 3, 4, 5 months, whatever. I know they were only like 2, but 3, 4, 5 months before she can move because of her job. What would you say then, Minnie?
I mean, if it's a short-term thing, that's fine. But if we're talking long-term and there is no plans on getting or being back together anytime soon, don't do it.
I think it all depends, especially if it's gonna be like, you know, a certain period of time that you guys are gonna be separated. You can give yourself up to 6 months, a year, if you're like, you know, moving in together, or like, you know, work wise, it's moving you, and you guys have a solid relationship, and you know your plans are to move in and to build a relationship like that, like a home base type of thing. I mean, you could try it, and if it doesn't work, well, it doesn't work. But at least you know your goal at the end was to settle together at some point, at that point that you guys give each other. You get me? But if it's gonna be like a long run type of thing, just don't waste your time. Because at the same time, you could be FaceTiming, you can be calling and everything, but at times schedules don't match up. At times you're gonna be tired, and the person's gonna be waiting, and at times you're gonna expect the call, the FaceTime, the text, or whatever, or the person's gonna be tired and they're gonna fall asleep, or they have other plans. So that's when um mistrust comes in, and it's not gonna work out, and the fighting and the arguments are gonna start to happen. So as long as the communication is there, and be like, hey, we have a goal for like a year or 6 months, and we're gonna move in together, why not? But other than that, I don't think so. It's hard. It's something that you got to think about the cons more than the pros?
Honestly, for me, it's more of like, if you have a stable relationship, communication is the goal. But if you don't have that, I recommend you not doing it. That's how I see it. I will have to agree with Cece and Mini about the situation.
All right, I'm glad to say finally we all agree on something for fucking once, man. We were always a fucking mess, bro. Like Jesus Christ. So, summary. If you have plans to get back together soon, as in plan your lives to be together in the same place soon, do it. And if you have a loving, trusting relationship where you guys have open communication, and again, pretty much the basic thing, trust, and that you know each other. Now, if you know that you have no end game, no idea when your long distance is going to end or if it's going to end, you don't communicate effectively, you don't trust each other, but yet you're still trying to make it work, bitch, bye. That's not gonna work. Either one of you, both of you, or all of you, and I'm gonna say all of you because that nigga might be cheating, the girl might be cheating, all of you gonna get hurt. So what's the point, right? So I don't know if any of y'all have anything else to add. All right, Cookie, take it away.
Thank you everyone for joining us on this episode, If My Mama Knew. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. You can stream our podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, Google, Pandora, and YouTube. I'm Cookie signing off. This is Mimi.
Hi, guys.
This is Gigi.
Bye.
And Cece.
Bye.